Miss Novias by Bobby Grace. I think I have mentioned that I live in a patch of Mayan jungle, a handful of degrees north of the equator. I'm sure I have mentioned the beauty of the women here. My bass-slinging best buddy Nadine would say, "You say that about every place, asshole." Yeah, maybe so, sister, but I like people in general, and I happen to like girl people a lot. A woman's beauty is an alchemy of form and substance and sentience, radiating light and scent and tactility into the universe. But she better be able to pull-start a 15-horsepower 2-cycle outboard to live here. Mi novia is a town girl, una media oriente ladina. She's actually from a village in the Petén, about a half-day bus ride inland from town, but as far as the aldea is concerned, she's from town, upriver. She doesn't know how to pull-start a 15. She doesn't know how to drive a launcher. I'm not even sure she knows how to swim. Definitely not a woman of the water, but she's been enthusiastically embracing the ways of the river. Estoy un poco nerviosa, her mantra before trying new things for the first time. Of course you're un poco nerviosa, I say. Everybody is un poco nerviosa when they try new shit. I often provide additional comfort, support, and reinforcement in the form of Pittsburgh Susie's bit of insight and wisdom. It's okay to have a pussy, mi amor, but it ain't okay to be one. This week, we've been learning to drive the launcher. I see the village women somberly whispering and shaking their heads as mi novia and I are zinging erratically across the laguna in my 16-foot launcher, me trying to teach her a skill I just recently acquired myself. She the perfect picture of wind-blown ebony hair and white-knuckle concentration. Both of us laughing our asses off loud enough to be heard over the 15-horsepower outboard. What's wrong with that gringo anyway? I can almost hear the women saying, well, maybe he's not as smart as we thought at first. Nonetheless, off we go freaking out wildlife, small children, abuelas in cayucos, and frequently each other. Imagine high school driver's ed. Now imagine it in a foreign language, loud enough to be heard over an outboard motor. We don't need a lot of words usually. Mi novia and me. A situation like that, though, I could use some topical vocabulary. Like, what the fuck are you doing, for example? And holy shit, you just ran over Carlito. I was talking with my buddy Nadine just the other night. Nadine and I shared the stage together for about a decade in a prior life, and we share the full moon together whenever we can. We've written more than 100 songs together and performed clubs, honky-tonks, and festivals from Pennsylvania to Louisiana. We were a hell of a team. Still are. See, Nadine is one of those women who leave a mark on a guy no matter what her relationship is with them. She's got a pussy, but she ain't one. Over the years, I've noticed she didn't have many women friends, but men flocked to her like mosquitoes to a bug light. Tall, beautiful, talented, half Japanese, an alto with a natural ear for harmony who can play the shit out of a bass guitar. What's not to love? Well, her boot knife, for one thing, if you don't know how to act right. And maybe her foot up your ass if you're a drummer who isn't keeping the time. I've always appreciated women with character and presence. It probably doesn't hurt that Nadine looks like a 1940s pin-up girl with a bass guitar. Over the years, Nadine has been a font of advice on the ways and wiles of women. A regular Wonder Woman decoder ring for the subtext that, according to her, accompanies all-female communication. She voluntarily and aggressively operates as my own personal estrogen decoding radar, hardwired directly into a strategic defense system designed to protect her Bobby from the ever-devious ministrations of her treacherous gender. It's a system that generally operates with a liberal application of cynicism. The last full moon, I motored a mile or so out to the middle of the river and gave her a call. Don't ask me to explain it, but a guy can pick up some pretty bitchin' cell phone reception in the middle of the river on a good night. That was probably not a part of the engineer's plan who designed the communication grid around this part of the world, but it probably could be listed as a feature or benefit in the real estate brochure. We were shooting the shit like we do, and laughing at life like we usually do, and I mentioned my nueva novia. I could almost hear the boot knife sliding out. Nadine is a pretty good silent communicator, even from a couple of 1,000 miles away. Over the telephone. What the fuck are you doing, Bobby? Like I haven't heard that before. I tried to divert her. How's the music going on your end? I parried. Just got back from rehearsal. Picked up our regular 4th of July blue chip gig. Doing it with the Lanigans this year. You? Banging around, impressing the locals, and trying to find a place for my guitar in the Garifuna rhythm downriver, I said. Having any luck? They haven't thrown me out yet, I said. Pause. No bass players here, I said. Pretty girls, though, huh? She said. Yeah, I said. Nadine loves me and doesn't like to see me screw up. She's been my wingman for a lot of years. Kept me out of jail and away from the free clinic more times in more towns than I can count. Don't give me a bunch of shit. She's already 24 and only has one kid, I said. Jesus, Bobby, she said. It's the frontier, damn it. Didn't you ever read Lonesome Dove? I said. I hadn't mentioned the Gringa musician from Cleveland who lived with me for a while. Decided I probably wouldn't. Didn't want Nadine parachuting into the jungle to kick my ass. You been watching the World Cup? I asked. Jesus, Bobby, she said again, maybe thinking that I didn't hear it the first time. Maybe not. What the fuck are you doing, Bobby? She said. You were supposed to have your dumb ass back here half a year ago. Got delayed, I said. 24 years old? Jesus, Bobby, she said. I heard a sigh over the phone, sensed a smile. I don't remember you liking the young ones, Nadine said. 24 is middle age here, darling, I said. Women have a short shelf life in these parts. Besides, you never let me chase you or your beautiful daughters. I had to settle. Another sigh. Well, I'm sure the sex is good, she said. Yeah, pretty good, I said. You keeping up? She asked. At 50, Nadine is younger than me. So far, I said. She said. No syllabic inflection. All those years together, and I didn't even know Nadine could speak Kekchi. I replied. Second syllable upward inflection. What do you mean, she demanded. I was starting to think maybe her command of Kekchi wasn't as good as I first thought. I switched back to English. She's young, pretty, and enthusiastic, I said. She said. Maybe I should have stuck with Kekchi. You never like any of the women I hang with, I said. Mostly because you're a fucking idiot, Bobby, Nadine said. Jesus, 24? Uh-oh. She was starting to get wound up. She's only after your money, Nadine said. I don't have any money, I said. Well, you got that going for you, she said. Nadine has a dry sense of humor sometimes. Did you tell her that? She asked. As best I could, I said. We don't exactly speak the same language. Jesus, Bobby. Nadine tends to reiterate when she doesn't think her point is getting across. Your guitar is older than that kid. Keeps a guy from getting old and lazy, I said. You're already old, she said. Nadine is pretty direct, and I don't think you mean lazy. I think you mean horny. Pause. She make you smile, she asked. I mean when you're not having sex. Nadine has seen me with that goofy after good sex smile. That wasn't what she was asking, though. Yeah, I said. She does. Well, you got that going for you, Nadine said. See there, I said. Got all kinds of shit going for me. You're a fucking idiot, Bobby, she reprised. I know, I said, but you love me. Nadine and I don't say the L word out loud very often to each other. Probably because as close as we are, we recognize the danger of it. Another sigh from her end. Yeah, I do. She made it sound like a sufficiently reluctant admission to keep us both safe. That kid might too, she said, so try not to do anything stupid. The moon reflected up from the surface of the river, as bright as the footlights we used to share, the stars twinkling like Nadine's eyes used to do when they caught the gelled floods. The night sounds of the jungle carried easily over the calm water, a familiar barroom like buzz of animal activity and intent. Mating calls. They sound the same here in the jungle as they did in 1,000 clubs and honky-tonks that I stood in together with that woman. I always try not to, I said. I know you do, Bobby, Nadine said, but you're just not all that good at it as far as I've seen.